Ukraine's war against Russia has been going on for 1,023 days. Many heavy battles have taken place on the contact line. Thousands of heavy armored vehicles and hundreds of thousands of soldiers have been destroyed, but the tension on the battlefield has only increased. Russian troops continue to push into Ukrainian soil in an attempt to destroy Ukrainian as a nation and to satisfy Putin's ambitions. The Ukrainian military is trying to preserve their freedom by ruthlessly destroying Russian mercenaries. Today, I'm going to show you the latest real-life battles captured on video by Ukrainian soldiers. I'm Hustler. Let's get started. Russian troops trying to break through Ukrainian positions failed. One armored personnel carrier hit a mine and was destroyed by a drone. Another was also destroyed by a direct hit from a javelin. But the offensive did not end there. Another group of Russians in 3 armored vehicles drove toward Ukrainian positions. One armored personnel carrier remained near the forest belt, while the other 2 continued to move. Ukrainians started firing aimed shots to keep the enemy from approaching their positions. The terrified Russian survivors began to flee. Using an FPV drone, the Ukrainians attacked a 3rd armored vehicle that was camouflaged near the trees. Then, using drones, they began to clear the Russian occupiers. Another offensive by Russian troops, but this time with the landing of soldiers to capture a Ukrainian village. The Russians drop off farther away from the settlement to avoid making a fuss, but they do not know that Ukrainian drones and artillery are already targeting them. First, the artillery started shelling armored vehicles. At the same time, the Ukrainian military in an armored combat vehicle, Mastiff, with a machine gun, went to destroy the Russian occupiers who had already approached the settlement. After a machine gun attack, Ukrainian soldiers entered to clear out the Russian occupiers. Here, the Russians came under heavy artillery fire from the Ukrainian military, and then they were destroyed by FPV drones. A Russian armored personnel carrier with infantry was on its way to assault, but the attempt was unsuccessful due to heavy Ukrainian fire that destroyed the armored vehicles and the occupiers. Kostiantynivka, Donetsk region, a Ukrainian drone operator notices Russian infantry landing. Seizing the moment, the drone aims directly at the middle of the armored vehicle and burns it down. As you can see, there was a Russian soldier in the armored personnel carrier during the shelling. Here, the Russians have already been targeted with Baba Yaga drone strikes. Then they attacked the armored vehicles. Found the Russians hiding between the building and tree branches. Then Ukrainian drone operators destroy all the occupiers' equipment. Destruction of an airborne infantry fighting vehicle through a hatch. Occupants' equipment successfully destroyed. The Ukrainian kamikaze drone, while scouting the situation, spotted the Russians traveling in a buggy, but they did not drive for long. After the encounter with the Ukrainian drone, the Russians will now have to walk. Here, Ukrainians discover a Russian vehicle parked in a destroyed building. The drone operator takes aim and destroys the vehicle with a precise strike. The object was successfully destroyed. Here, a Ukrainian hexacopter, ahead of a tank moving along the road, dropped an anti-tank mine in its path. The Russian was not expecting it, ran over the mine, and then there was an explosion. Kurakhov direction. Russian troops are trying to break through the defense of Ukrainian positions and push Ukrainians out. The fierce and heavy fighting is ongoing, with the Russians sparing neither equipment nor soldiers. After a drone attack, heavy armored vehicles turn into hot metal. The armor fails, and pieces of metal fly in different directions. Here are some more video reports of the destruction of equipment for the end of November. Russians keep coming to Ukrainian soil, knowing that nothing good awaits them here. Well, they choose this fate for themselves, reproducing Putin's wishes. The eastern front of the Ukrainian border, Russians decide to make a major assault on Ukrainian defense positions. Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone takes off to meet Russian armored vehicles. Russian troops did not even have time to reach the forest belt of the Ukrainian military before they were attacked by drones. A Russian armored tank was also attacked by a kamikaze drone. After the first hit, the tank did not detonate, so it was decided to finish it off with another drone. The armor of the tanks could not withstand the precise hits of the drones. The column of Russian equipment was successfully broken up and destroyed. Ukrainian troops met a convoy of Russian equipment and began to attack it ruthlessly. Here, the occupiers left their armored truck without even closing the door. The drone operator took advantage of this and made a targeted strike. A similar situation. After such attacks, the armored vehicle burns down in a matter of minutes. An unmovable tank is also a very attractive target for destruction. And another Russian armored truck explodes and burns after a Ukrainian kamikaze drone strike. A Russian occupier on a buggy saw a drone hunting for him and stopped and tried to run away, but he failed. Only scrap metal remained at the site of the explosion. A Russian armored personnel carrier disguised as a green forest was not expecting the snow to fall quickly. And then, a Russian T-80 tank came under a brutal attack by 2 Ukrainian kamikaze drones. That's all for today. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with the latest developments. This video was produced by Hustler. See you soon.